Things are moving faster, guys. The head of digital assets for President Trump says Bitcoin is digital gold that should be treated as such. Isn't that sentence interesting? They really seem to want to speed up, though. The first step toward a new financial system is to understand that Bitcoin is digital gold. The second step is to guess what is XRP. Guys, that's liquid gold that can move right away and provide liquidity right now. As part of Trump's SEC crypto task group, Delphi Ventures brings its knowledge of XRP. Okay, so this is what they are being told. Important ideas. We looked at XRP with more of a utility coin mindset. We figure out the long-term value of the network by looking at how much more valuable XRP is than other Ripple goods. We came to our conclusions by figuring out how much more XRP is needed to support the value of trades. Its network makes it easier to think that Ripple will continue to gain popularity at a fairly fast rate. Okay, guys, this is just one way to get there. Ripple wants to make all cross-border payments possible. Based on our estimates, the economy will grow from $155 trillion in 2018 to $230 trillion in 2028 at a rate of 4% per year. What do you think? This is based on the idea that Ripple can get about 80% of the global cross-border payments market within 10 years, starting with a market share of 0.54% in 2019 and rising to that level. Okay, take a look at that. During this decade, Ripple captured about 80% of the pie, which means that the pie is definitely big. This was Davis Schwartz's idea from, many years ago. Here's what he said in an interview with Davis Schwartz. How do I get Ripple? Ripple is a new kind of financial matching tool that has never been seen before. People's payment methods and merchants can now connect directly with each other for the first time. That changes a lot about the way things are now. These days, payment methods are like email was in the early 1980s. Each service provider made their own system for their customers. If people use different systems, it's hard for them to talk to each other. Is made to link two or more payment methods together. Now, what will happen because of this new ability to connect? What makes Ripple so strong and different? Makes use of the invisible hand of market forces. Wow, the invisible hand. That's something we've seen before. Do you know where? From BG. Could you give an example? You can see a payment that works. It's easy to pay someone in yen when you have bucks. For every dollar you spend, they get yen. However, what you can't see is that someone else who was holding yen but wants to hold dollars also gets what they want. In the long run, what do you want Ripple to do? I believe that Ripple will make the world a better place. I'd like for big businesses to lose control over the flow of money the same way they've lost control over the flow of knowledge. Wow. You guys must think it's a really cool new idea. That's crazy. They want to make the system less centralized by pushing against the things that hold it together. Instead of banks and governments having full power over people's money. The same goes for trades. You see it as a system that frees you. It will be harder for oppressive governments to use their power over their country's money systems to hurt their citizens thanks to Ripple. Guys, that did happen in Canada once, right? With the truck drivers? Okay, then they just stopped their money? The internet has made it impossible for even the most oppressive governments to stop their citizens from reading Western news and blogging about life in their country. Similarly, systems like Ripple could make it impossible for oppressive governments to force their citizens to hold currencies that they can devalue. Do you see what I mean? So guys, Ripple isn't a bad thing, even though these Bitcoin maxis may make it look like it is. That's what she meant by XRP ledger. Wow, that's interesting. Brad Garlinghouse makes the case for XRP by destroying Bitcoin in front of the IMF and the Swiss National Bank. Engineers who worked on XRP knew that Bitcoin had problems, especially when it came to being able to grow. XRP is 1,000,000 times faster. This is why things will change. It's already happening and has already happened. It takes a long time and costs a lot. It's about 1,000 times faster and 1,000 times cheaper to make a trade with XRP. There is also the fact that some of the world's most unusual currencies and trade routes have been left to operate on their own, which is another interesting thing about correspondent banking. And the fact that digital assets are liquid could be used to make the playing field much more fair and open to everyone. Starting from the beginning, Ripple's main goal has been to use these technologies in the same way that TCP/IP and HTTP support the Internet of Information. These blockchain technologies will be the building blocks of an internet of value where gadgets and information are linked together so that payments can be made. To add to what Norman said, it's one thing if you're a big company moving $100 million. Suppose you're a freelance designer in the Philippines doing work for a company in London. You want to be paid $30, which is 30 pesos, Philippine pesos. If that's a transaction that can easily be enabled, and companies that do allow it require the freelancer to set up an account, they don't actually pay out until there's about $1,000 in that account. What do you see back here? Where is XRP? In the middle, guys, that's where the engine is. Yes? It looks so pretty, like a spider web. But XRP is the spider itself. Then, this 2014 study from Ripple says that as more people use the XRP ledger, the price of XRP will likely go up because more people will want it. Okay, look at this. Putting the whole world in touch with each other now. Okay, how the system for Ripple works. Fourth, because customers still use their bank to connect to Ripple, your customer and compliance requirements for how you deal with customers are already set and can stay mostly the same. A list of all the different methods for messaging and settling transactions. There are no central servers for Swift, Bitcoin, or Ripple. Consensus on Ripple. Click on this to see the speed. It takes 3 to 6 seconds. Universal currency, transaction costs, and protection costs. Partnering up is important. Ripple is at the very bottom of the list of ways to pay. Right? Yes, if you look at a pyramid. So let's just call this the money system. We can find Ripple at the bottom. Yes, it's aiming down here because if you change this, everything else will change too. Things will run much more smoothly. As we already said, partnerships are important. Utility is important, but what's more important, partnerships or giving banks, money transmitters, and other financial services companies settlement functionality. There are other peer-to-peer networks that try to get rid of existing players, but this one takes a different method. What XRP is for? The Ripple system has its own currency called XRP. Even though most people who use Ripple will still use their own local currencies, it is a digital asset like Bitcoin. Additionally, XRP helps provide liquidity on the network and serves as a security measure. If the real pool system is widely used over time, there may be more demand for XRP, which could cause the price to go up. Unlike information protocols like the internet, investors can directly own a stake in Ripple or XRP. Ripple is the value transport layer of the internet. This means that the normal person can get rich, right? At least hold a pie, a little piece of the pie toward this new world. You couldn't do that before, right? With HTTP, a lot of the world's payment methods are still going to use technology that was created in the 1950s. Recent advances in technology have made it possible to settle and clear deals without the need for a third party. Guys, take a look at this. Ripple is a free, fair, and global way to bring payments into the modern era. That means the system will change completely, really only a matter of time. Brad Garlinghouse confirming that Ripple will gain a huge amount of money by focused on payments, about $20 trillion. Why? On October 8, 2019, Brad Garlinghouse wrote on page 33, "One was Codius, a tool for smart contracts that use the XRP ledger. Some might say that we should have paid more attention to smart contracts and what happened with the Ethereum network. Because he's thinking bigger, I don't feel bad about that. Well, I think the funds are fine. Every year, more than $20 trillion is sent across